Hey guys, welcome back to the channel again. Today I'm back on the 2018 Thor Ace 30.2. Today I'm going to do a full generator service. So as you can see, this has a Onan 5500 Cummins generator. Works okay, does have some slow starting issues. I think the last time I checked, this thing is at like 2,500 hours, so quite a few. There's some people out there that say this is the end of its life. There was a forum I looked at, and somebody said that yeah, these things are meant to go for 10, 20 plus thousand. So I'm going to do the full service today. Hopefully it gets it running a little bit better. It doesn't run too bad. We've had this boondocked in parking lots run all night just a month ago, so it did just fine. In the Cracker Barrel parking lot on the way there and the way back. So, and that was just basically a few weeks ago. So it does work, but it could work better. So what I do have here is the full kit. And the first thing I'm going to do is put the some fuel and the Behrmans, do the full Italian tune-up. I can do that because I just did a 23andMe and I'm about half Italian, so I guess I can do that. But we're gonna pour the Behrmans in there, pour about a gallon or so of gas, run this hose up into it. I'll show you that, and then let this run for 30 minutes to an hour to really let that Behrmans do its job, and flush this thing out. And then we bought this kit. I think this kit was 25 or 30 bucks. So this kit comes with air filter, spark plugs, fuel filter, and an oil filter. I did cross-reference an oil filter. There is a Wix filter for like 20 bucks at O'Reilly's, but I figure this is going to be fine. This thing's run for this long; it'll keep going. And then I got 2 quarts of 10W40, so we can do an oil change. So we're going to do everything here, the full service. First, I'm going to do the oil treatment so that I'm not running it through the new spark plugs, the new fuel filter. I'm going to do that first. Then when it's nice and warm and I'm done, I'll let it cool off just enough so that I can drain the oil. But first things first, let me get the cover off, open this thing up, see what we're dealing with. So we've got it open. Obviously, it's a little dirty here. There was a piece of tape that kind of went along the side here that had a lot of the service written on it. When I cleaned this thing off with some brake clean because it was pretty dirty, that all kind of washed away, but you couldn't read it anyway. But here's some of the service information, and it talks about the air filter, some of the replacement information, 2 quarts of oil, so that's good with the oil filter. So oil level you're supposed to check daily. We've had this for 2 years, and this is the first time I've checked it. Air filter is supposed to clean every 150 hours. Replace every 450. I don't know. I don't think we probably haven't quite reached 150 hours, but for us, and obviously annually, this is the first time I've opened this case since we bought this RV, which was, like I said, almost 2 years ago. It doesn't have anything for the fuel filter, but I did look, and the fuel filter is an Onan. It's the original fuel filter clearly. So first thing I'm going to do is start this up inside the RV. I did hit the button for a few seconds because I wanted to get it to turn on and show me the hours, so I can show you guys. But while this is running, I'll go in there and do that. But so I only did it for a few seconds and I stopped. So I can come out here and hit the button because this thing takes a little while to start up. So we're gonna go ahead and see how long this thing takes. Well, like I said, I had already did it for a few seconds, but that's pretty good. So it doesn't run. We'll give it a few seconds. So it doesn't actually run too bad, as you saw there. It doesn't run that terribly bad. So this should be a good service for it. The one spark plug here looks like it's easy to get to. And then the other one over here looks like it's not so easy to get to. So luckily I have the Wobble Baby special. This is Mac tools. It's got all the ball joints and goes all the different directions. We'll give it a shot. Hopefully it gets back into there. Yeah. Good luck to me. We'll tell you how well that goes when we get there. The first thing we're gonna do is this fuel trick. So I'll get underneath and I'll show you what I'm gonna do with the with this Cummins fuel cleaning. All right, now that we're under here, you can see the original Onan filter. So what I'm going to do is take this 1/4-inch line, run it off of this filter, and then run it into the fuel can that I've got about a half a gallon, maybe a little over a half a gallon, all the gas I had left, and a full bottle of that Cummins. So it's going to run this thing for 30 or 45 minutes and make sure we have enough time that it can really clean that fuel system out. So the other thing I'm going to do here is I just went and bought this this clamp. So the first thing you really do need to do is clamp off your fuel hose. So this fuel hose is clamped off nice and safely. There's nice little clamps. I was going to use some vice grips, but decided to pick that set of those clamps up. So I'm going to take this off. Hopefully I can set the camera up. Should be pretty easy. Pop her off of here and then run my hose just down into the tank. Yeah, taking this hose off will be easy. I'll just show you once I'm done. All right, hopefully it's not too hard to see here. Got the new line on and the clamp, and it's just running here into the gas can. So yeah, so it's a 2-gallon gas can. It's actually here, so we're almost to a gallon. Not too bad. So we're going to go ahead and start this up. Might take a minute for that fuel pump to get the fuel up into the carburetor in the system, but here we go. All right, started. It ran for about a minute, turned off. So I'm thinking it did finally run through the fuel it already had in the bowl. So first thing I think is to prime it. So you can hear the clicky clacky pump. Trying to prime that line, and then we'll try to start it here in a second. Oh, come on. All right, hopefully you can hear me. I'm a little bit of a distance away. Finally got it started. Did have to, obviously you do have to prime it, so that's a key. But the fuel line, when you buy it in a 2-foot section and it's curled up, I thought it was in the tank well, but it wasn't. The fuel line had just curled up, so I just had to turn the jug there, the fuel can, so that the curve sits against the side of it and doesn't, and actually the end of the hose is in the dang fuel. So now the hose is in the fuel. Primed it. When it primed it, you can hear it. You can hear it making noise, and you can hear it kind of come into prime, and then start it up, and it started right up. So now she's running, and we'll wait 30 minutes for that to go and do the rest of this full service. Currently in the RV, I don't know if I mentioned it. I think I did, but the cost of that kit, I thought I paid 20 some bucks for it. I just looked it up on Amazon, so I can maybe add it if it comes back available. I'll put the link in there in the description, but it says it's currently unavailable. But there's another kit for about 33 bucks. So for 30 bucks you can get that whole kit with the oil filter, air filter, fuel filter, and 2 spark plugs. The Onan, the genuine Onan kit, which I don't know if it includes a fuel filter or not, is like $109. You can get the Wix oil filter. I thought about that when I went to get some fuel hose, but it's like 20 bucks, so almost as much for the entire kit for the Wix oil filter. So I'm just gonna go with this cheap one. Hopefully the cheap stuff doesn't bite me in the rear end like it has before. But just to show you, we are at 2,600 2,613, so 2,613 hours on this generator. So that's where we're at. I do have the air conditioner on right now, so the air conditioner is running just to give that generator, let it pull a little extra fuel and run a little harder while it's doing the fuel system clean out. So yeah, we're currently about 20 minutes in, so we're gonna let that run for a little while longer, and then we'll get on with the rest of the service. Just turned it off after about 40 minutes of runtime. We still got about 2/3 of that fuel, so this doesn't take a lot. It doesn't run on a lot of gas, even on the AC. So you get real good fuel mileage. It's pretty warm, as you could imagine. So I'm going to first reconnect the fuel system and put the new fuel filter in. It's pretty simple. Fuel system's not going to be hot, so that's going to be good. And then it should be cool enough to start draining the oil. The oil filter might be a little hot, but I'll start with that. Looks like I said, this is a petcock here. This tube runs down and out the bottom, so we'll see if we can see that as we drain it. But and then the oil filter is actually right down here, twists right out of the bottom as well. And I got a pair of oil filter pliers just in case I need them. Probably will, because whoever serviced it before me probably tightened the piss out of it. So yeah, I'll find the wrench for this. The old one is just going to twist off. This one's going to twist right on. This is a direct replacement. And then, you know, the fuel line, the original fuel line just pops right onto here. So yeah, this should be easy and quick. I'll knock that out and I'll get on the oil. Okay, the fuel filter's in there. Now we're going to twist in this petcock. It's not too hot, but go ahead and use a pair of pliers just because. Here we go. I hear something. Some oil. Yeah, that's doing the thing. Let me see if I pull the cap, fill cap off. Meh, doesn't necessarily do a whole lot, but pull the fill cap off and it's draining. So cool. I'm gonna let it do its thing and drain all the way out, and then do the filter. The oil filter wasn't too tight. They used a Hastings LF644. So if you want to find a Hastings filter, LF644, I would give you the number on this one, but it's so generic and Chinese that I don't think they give you one. So cross your fingers. Let's do this. Also, I tipped the filter up. I did verify it has an O-ring. So I'm gonna fill this one before I put it up in there, and obviously make sure the O-ring's covered in a nice light coat of oil. But yeah, that one, so I know the O-ring is on that filter. It's not. You want to make sure. If you've ever watched any video and anyone worth their salt has ever talked to you about an oil change or oil filter or fuel filter, make sure this O-ring is. I have installed where the O-ring has been stuck in a vehicle, and if you pay attention, you can quickly see that it will leak. Two O-rings will leak, so you want to make sure this one it does have the O-ring, because somebody in one of the comments said something about it didn't have an O-ring. This one has an O-ring, and the O-ring comes off, because two O-rings are not good. They will easily leak. The pressure will just go right between the two O-rings, and you'll burn an engine up quicker than. I don't have any good analogies. I need to think of some, but yeah, it's good to go. So I'm gonna put this one in. Remove the clips. Pull the cover off the air filter. First look at it. Yeah, it's not too bad. A little bit of gunk and build up inside, but not terrible. I'll wipe this down a little bit. Make sure this is clean. Yeah, it's looking pretty good there. And I'll put the new one in. It's pretty simple. Yeah, not too bad. Now to get to the spark plugs back there. We'll see how fun this is going to be. I did not bring out, I do need to go get some anti-seize, but I'll do that. I'll finish cleaning this up. Move on to the spark plugs. Spark plugs are out. Came into the garage. First problem was my wobble, wobble, wobble. Wobble, baby, wobble. I only have the 5/8. These are 13/16. But looking at, so the champion plugs are what came out of it. I don't know if you're going to get a good enough view, but you know that electrode looks pretty good. It's supposed to be gapped at 0.035. I did extend this one a little bit because this was, I'm sorry, 0.025. The one that came out of it is 0.035. This one was a lot closer, almost touching. So I just adjusted this a little bit. I got to bring it back down, but I think I'm going to keep these champions in there because that electrode is not burned down at all. It's not even rounded over. So I'm thinking that this one had some not too old of plugs in it. So these champions look like they're in good shape. So I'm going to go with the champions again. I'm going to see if I can get the one on the other side out. That's extremely tight to get out. But I think I'm going to go with the champions and keep these other ones for the next time. This one here, not as difficult as I thought. The spark plug wire, you got to kind of get a couple fingers from one hand, a couple fingers from the other, and pop it off. And then just the, I bought all these extra pieces out. I got a wobble and the wobble socket, the snap-on wobble socket, and then the snap-on universal joint, a little bit big to fit in there. And then this is my Craftsman spark plugs wrench. But I got so this is my Cobalt kit that I used to work on this thing. The socket from it worked, the U-joint and the ratchet, the U-joint and the standard spark plug socket. So yeah, it seems to be coming out. These spark plugs weren't torqued down too terribly hard. I got some extra never seize on that one, so I can never seize up this one once I set the spark plug gap, and then I'll put it back in, throw this thing back together, oil it up, and we'll give it a quick start. This thing fills extremely slowly, as you can tell by my selectively clean parts. It's quick to overfill, well, to just spill over as it's trying to leak in there. That's how much of the quart I have left of the 2 quarts. I'm gonna start it real quick here. First I'll prime it because it's got to get some fuel up there. I'll start it and then let it run for a few seconds, and then I'll turn it off, and then I'll check the level again. Let it circulate some of that oil, and give me a chance to actually put the rest of this oil in there. So let's prime it and let's start it. She fired right up for us. All right, I'll finish filling this oil, and then we should be all set. Full 2 quarts in there. No oil leaks. Probably take this light down. Needs to be charged, and we're done with it. Sprayed a little brake clean on there to kind of clean up my mess. Wiped everything down. Again, no oil leaks. Seems to be starting fine, so let's give it another start. Okay guys, well that's it. A good service on this thing. Air filter, fuel filter. We checked the spark plugs. They seem to be in good shape. Re-gapped them because they were at 0.035 and not 0.025. I think it smoothed it out just a little bit. Again, this is a 2,600 hour generator. And we did the oil change and filter. So that's a pretty good full service. If the spark plugs needed to be changed, I would have changed them. But they look good, and they were champions, and they're probably better than the Chinese junk I was going to put in there anyway. If I had my way, I would have used, you can get the Onan fuel filters, but that's 30 to 40 bucks. And again, this kit costs like $30. So the the fuel filter itself, the oil filter by itself, if you go with the Wix or another, or the Onan, you're getting close to what this kit costs. So I guess this kit was worth it if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, but you know, you've got a $80,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 plus vehicle. You know, if it's older, you got a $40,000 vehicle, and a generator that you want to run, you know, your family on. Throwing $100 at it's not going to be bad, but throwing 30 is just as good. And that air filter, that air filter, you can put a cheap air filter in there. The air filter, not a big deal. So we'll see how it goes. Again, like I said, I think it runs a little bit better. Probably the spark plug gaps helped it a little bit, but you know, running that fuel through there, new oil, I think the oil was kind of low. So I'm glad we got some good oil in there. But yeah, thanks for sticking around this long. Hopefully your job is just as, you know, not as discombobulated as mine was. Hopefully I made something that I can edit and you can follow along with. But that's what it took to do a full service on this generator, and you know, give it a few more years of service. And like I said, you know, we put 15,000 miles on this in the last couple years. 80, 90, yeah, 15,000 miles. Maybe a little bit more. We've only boondocked twice, so we haven't used this generator a whole lot. I would say, you know, it was 2,500 hours, a little over 2,600 hours, so 100 and something. But 2 years, a little over 100 something hours on this generator, and that's when I did the first service on it. So it did go a bit. So a lot of people say, hey, you need to change your oil in that every year. I didn't do that. It's 2 years, and about the service interval, I'd say 150 hours. So yeah, like and subscribe. Stick around. We got some more good things to do. This slide is about to come out, and the mechanism on the other end is about to come out, so I can figure out what parts I need to order to make this slide actually work. And then I've got a whole bunch of stuff for inside to do to this RV, because it's ready for everything we want to do with it. So thanks again. Hopefully this video helps you out. We'll see you guys in the next one.